hot topic these days, the fate of a self-directed IRA, because the first draft of a major tax bill was released in the middle of September. So this proposal has several components that might adversely affect the retirement account, such as a self-directed IRA, if it is enacted. So can you tell us about the kind of what's the rationale behind this tax proposal and what could be the ramifications of this proposal if passed?
I might be the wrong dinosaur to ask for the rationale behind that tax proposal. The rationale is to raise a bunch of money. That's the rationale. And if you're going to raise a bunch of money, if that's what you're trying to do, you can't go to places that don't have a lot of money in them. You have to go where there are lots of dollars for you to grab onto. And obviously there is an enormous quantity of money in the country these days in IRAs in general, and then especially in self-directed IRAs. Most people who don't have much financial experience at all can fill out a form and open their IRA. And maybe they end up putting the money in a money market fund, or they buy some shares in a mutual fund in their IRA account or something like that. The kind of person who's going to open a self-directed IRA is probably somebody with a little more financial sophistication, probably a little more experience. I have a client, for example, that has a little over 6 million in equity in his self-directed IRA, because very early on, he started investing in real estate in various ways, buying notes at some point, buying individual properties, and all of that. And he's amassed a considerable amount of money in his self-directed IRA, right? So the rationale, I guess, is literally that's a good place for the House Ways and Means Committee to find some of the money that they're trying to raise with these tax proposals. The consequence of the proposal, which is, and I think it's important, as you said, Tay, for people to understand, is that this is nothing more than a proposal at this point in time, right? So, it's certainly something to pay attention to if you've got, considerable assets in an IRA, and especially if you're what's called an accredited investor, okay? Well, a lot of your clients are accredited investors, okay? And one specific aspect of the proposal that emerged from the House Ways and Means Committee is that for accredited investors, not for the average Joes in the world, but for accredited investors, the things that my client that I was telling you about has been able to do, investing in private placement offerings, investing in specific real estate assets, those kinds of investment opportunities would be taken off the table. And most egregious in the proposal is the idea that if you already have those assets in those classes that the Ways and Means Committee wants to make off limits to you, the proposal gives you 2 years to sell those assets, or you will be taxed as if you sold them. You can own them, but 2 years from now, we're going to tax you as if you sold them. So either way, the tax consequences are the same. Either you sell off the assets, right, and are required by the terms of the proposal to start liquidating the IRA. That's all taxable stuff, right? When you start taking distributions out of the IRAs, they're going to be taxed, right? Or you can keep the assets you have, but we're going to tax you as if you had distributed them out, right? I wish we could say that there are specific things we can do. Like you were asking me about ways that people can provide real bulletproof asset protection if corporations and LLCs aren't maybe the answer that we've been led to believe they are, then what else can we do? Are there some solutions? Well, yes, there are some solutions. We talked about them, right? But right now, it's hard to say what solutions to think about or to enact in response to a proposal that at this point isn't even law, right? And my answer to that would be this. You guys are doing things through your webinars and through these kinds of sessions where you're trying to bring people, you didn't ask me to say this, I'm just saying it, okay? For the benefit of your listeners, you didn't ask me to say any of this, right? But you're bringing people to discussions for the benefit of your clients who, in my case, this month is the 40th year since I started doing this kind of work, right? I'm not saying that I walk on water, I don't, right? But I have been around the block a few times, okay? And the blocks that I have been walking around for the last 40 years are blocks where what's inside are people who are worried about losing their assets. They're people who are concerned about losing access to the capital that provides the engine to grow their businesses, or that takes care of their kids, or that pays for education, or pays for the causes that they want to support, etc. And if we can make it easier for people who bring those interests to the table to get access to experience, to the brains, to the credentials, etc., of people who have been helping people just like them for decades to solve those kinds of problems, then the odds are pretty good that we're going to find solutions to those situations in the same way that we found solutions to things like asset protection, right? Or any other topic. Congress changes the Tax Act, and the need to protect capital for the people that can create it, have a track record for proving that they can multiply capital, right? The need to, on their part, to keep capital in their hands, the need for the society to have capital kept in their hands, that need doesn't go away. So people like you guys, people like me, people like other people that we all know, right? Our job in life is to look at the rules as they exist at any point in time and say, how can I work within those rules and still do things to keep capital in the hands of the people who've created it in the past and have the capacity, therefore, to create it in the future too, right? So I don't think we could say to anybody, stay tuned for a webinar on, what to do about proposed changes in IRA legislation. But what I think we can say is that if any of those proposals actually turn into law, that people like yourselves, people like me, people like other people who you bring to your clients, right? We've got a lot of years of experience of trying to figure out how to work within the laws as they exist and find those kinds of solutions. So stay tuned. We'll tell you, what happens with the laws, if anything, and we'll do our best to find ways to help you deal with those situations. I can promise you that my client who's got $6 million in his self-directed IRA is not going to be a patient man on my telephone if that proposal becomes law. He's going to want to know, Barry, what can we do? And I'm going to want to know what can we do, because he's been one of my guys for a long time. Make sense?
It does make sense, and that's why it's good. We're so happy, blessed to have someone like you, Barry, to give us guidance, because at the end of the day, there's always going to be changes.
Yep.
Throughout the years, and it's good to have people on your side that can help guide you for these changes to protect your assets, whatever it is, tax strategies, and but thank you so much, Barry.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Tei, thank you for being here as well, and we just want everybody to, like, share, smash that like button, and share this. This is this is just an amazing topic, and we're so excited. Tei, you have anything you want to end with?
I mean, lastly, yeah, it was definitely like very informative, and I learned a lot about the trust and then the tax strategy and asset protection. Because lastly, in terms of this self-directed IRA, I mean, how can we make a collective effort to kind of stop Congress from eliminating self-directed IRAs? Yeah.
You answered your question. I mean, right now, honestly, the people who are opposed to you having capital, they aren't shy about reaching out to pressure the people who have the authority to make the rules. And we can't be shy either. We have to use the resources that we have. And the resources that we have are, we have a voice, but we also have assets, and they can't get elected without those assets. And we need to make it clear that, excuse me, I'm an old dinosaur, okay? I have a lot of kids, I have a lot of grandkids, and I look at, my grandkids these days, and it's like, I don't want us to grow up. I don't want you guys to grow up in a mess like is, happening in Venezuela. If we don't do things to exercise the political power that we can bring to the table, then things that old guys like me have gotten used to in our lives aren't going to be there for our kids and our grandkids. And that's heartbreaking. So I'm glad you asked that question. Really, anybody who cares about their own assets needs to take a couple of, you can even call them selfish moments if you want to, but just pick up the phone, send an email message, and let somebody know that you're not okay with this.
And the power of social media is really, actually, Tei, it's a good point, that we need to spread this message. We need to collectively get together and share to the world that this is not okay. This is going to destroy the wealth for everybody, not just the ultra rich. It's everybody this is going to affect.
Even the people they want to take care of are going to be on the short end of it. Who's happy in Venezuela right now? What people are getting taken care of with what's happened there? You're exactly right. Sorry.
So again,
I'm an old guy.
No, you know what? We need people like you with wisdom. You actually have wisdom when we're
now we're back to venerable. You guys are on shaky ground now.
So, but anyway, again, smash that like button, share this message. We got to spread this message to the world, how to protect yourself and how to speak up and share, speak up to really not get this new proposal passed. We need to speak up collectively. And thank you, everybody, for listening in. And until next time, happy investing.
Thanks, guys.
Happy investing, everyone. Thank you, Barry.
Thank you, Barry.
You're welcome.